Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor.
I declare that the 595th Convocation of McMaster University for the conferring of degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good afternoon. My name is David Farrar, and I am the Provost and Vice President Academic of the University. And this afternoon, I have the great pleasure of acting as your Master of Ceremonies and of being the first to welcome you, graduates and guests, to this convocation ceremony. I would like to start by recognizing and acknowledging that we meet today on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and the Haudenosaunee nations within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge some of the notable leaders joining me on stage today. Our Chancellor, Dr. Suzanne Labarge, President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Patrick Dean, Vice President Administration, Mr. Roger Coldry, Vice President University Advancement, Ms. Mary Williams, Dean and Vice President of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Dr. Paul O'Byrne, Vice President Academic of Mohawk College, Mr. Paul Armstrong. We're joined on stage by Associate Vice Presidents, Associate and Assistant Deans, Directors, Chairs, McMaster, Mohawk, and Conestoga faculty members, and honored guests. Before we start our formal ceremony, I would like to ask everyone in the hall to switch off any electronic device that could beep or ring during the ceremony. I would like now to call upon our Chancellor, Dr. Suzanne Labarge, to make her welcoming remarks.
Welcome, honored guests, staff, families, friends, colleagues, and faculty from McMaster University, Mohawk College, and Conestoga College, and most importantly, graduands. This is an exciting day for all of you who are graduating today, as well as for all those people who have supported you and stood behind you, and in many cases have had a key role in you being here today. You have achieved a great deal to get here, and you should all be very proud of your success and looking forward to what the future might bring. Before we start the ceremony, I just want to make one comment. One of the privileges of being Chancellor is I get to personally shake hands and congratulate each one of you. Well, I'm not going to do that today. I've got the tail end of a cold, and I want to make sure I do not pass it on to any of you. So please accept my good wishes, and I'm going to have to leave the privilege of the handshake to President Dean. In the meantime, enjoy the ceremony.
I would now like to welcome Dr. Patrick Dean, President and Vice Chancellor, to the podium, who will be presenting our honorary degree recipient.
Madam Chancellor, by the authority of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present Brenda Flaherty. A registered nurse since 1980, Brenda Flaherty worked her way up from her first position as a staff nurse in the emergency department of Hamilton Civic Hospitals to head nursing positions, hospital site administrator positions, and finally executive positions with Hamilton Health Sciences. She began serving as Executive Vice President of Clinical Operations in 2005, and she recently retired as Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for Hamilton Health Sciences. A McMaster graduate with a BA in Sociology, who has also earned a diploma in nursing from Mohawk College and a Master's of Public Administration from Queen's University, Ms. Flaherty has served as a faculty member in McMaster's graduate nursing program, as a clinical assistant professor in the School of Nursing, and as an instructor for the MBA program in the DeGroote School of Business. Throughout her career, Ms. Flaherty has shown a deep commitment to her broader professional communities. Locally, she was a member of the academic planning group for McMaster Mohawk Hamilton Health Sciences. She co-chaired the ALC steering committee for the Hamilton Niagara Haldeman Brant Lynn, and she chaired the Regional Stroke Steering Committee. Provincially, Ms. Flaherty has served as co-chair of the Ontario Epilepsy Implementation Task Force, co-chair of the Provincial Neurosurgery Ontario System Capabilities Working Group, and as a member of the Provincial Neurosurgery Ontario Executive Committee. Ms. Flaherty's list of community contributions is as extensive as her list of professional accomplishments. She was a long-time board member and chair of the YMCA of Hamilton, Burlington, Brantford, where she helped create Live Well, a partnership of the YMCA, McMaster, and Hamilton Health Sciences. She was then recruited to sit on the board of YMCA Canada, where she is the current chair. Ms. Flaherty has also served as a member of the boards for the Hamilton Pastoral Counseling Centre, the Hamilton Wentworth Industry Education Council, and the Hospital Family Houses of Ontario. She was a board member and 3-year chair of the North Hamilton Community Health Centre and is currently the chair of the Change Foundation, which works to promote positive evolution in Ontario's healthcare system. A member of the Hamilton Gallery of Distinction, Ms. Flaherty has received the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal, the Hamilton Health Sciences Cornerstone Award, the Athena Award of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, the Mohawk College Alumni Award, and the Health is a Community Affair Award from the Association of Ontario Health Centres. She earned the Mohawk College Distinguished Fellowship Award in 2015, and in 2014 received the McMaster Alumni Association Community Impact Award. It is an honor, Madam Chancellor, to present Brenda Flaherty to you today so that McMaster may add to that list of accolades by conferring upon Ms. Flaherty the degree Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Brenda Flaherty, by the authority of McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa in McMaster University with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. Congratulations. Sign over here. I would now like to invite Dr. Flaherty to deliver the convocation address.
Madam Chancellor, President Dean, honored guests, graduates, family, and friends. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere congratulations to the graduates today. Well done, an important milestone, and your learning has just begun. We are here today to celebrate each graduate and your academic success from McMaster University, one of the finest universities in the world. You should be so proud of your accomplishment in graduating from the Faculty of Health Sciences School of Nursing. In your preparation to become a nurse, you have gained the knowledge and critical thinking skills that enable you to value your patient's safety while caring for them and their families with empathy and kindness. As I said, your learning has just begun. 40 years ago, as I graduated from nursing, I thought my future was having a family and working part-time as a nurse caring for patients in the emergency department. Well, I'm here to tell you that plans and dreams change. Little did I know that I entered into a career of nursing that would offer me and each of you so many opportunities. Whether you choose patient care, clinical expert, research, education, or leadership, the opportunities are limitless, and all of this is available to you almost anywhere in the world. My hope for you is that you follow your passion, form your own ideas and identity, be true to yourself, take the opportunities that knock on your door, take risks, and commit to a lifetime of learning. I feel very privileged to be here celebrating with you, and I am humbled to accept this honorary degree, Doctor of Science, from McMaster University. This is a distinction that I will always value, and I feel fortunate to be part of a university that is so well recognized for making a difference globally. This year, McMaster University was recognized as second in the world in university rankings in social and economic impact. And McMaster Nursing is ranked second in Canada and in the top 15 schools of nursing in the world. McMaster University holds a very special place in my heart. It is a leading organization in the community I call home, and a wonderful partner to work with to advance patient care, research, and education. It has also been a place for me to learn, to mentor, and to teach. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for this recognition, and I will cherish and respect this honorary degree. I am excited to share with the graduates my wish for them as they enter into the privilege for caring for patients and family. Healthcare is all about human connection between providers and patients, between patients and their family caregivers, and between all three. When we think about this triad as a team, everyone wins. Family caregivers provide over 75% of care to their families. Everyone brings different expertise and perspective to the team, and each deserves respect and due consideration. There is a shift happening in our healthcare system, a substantial focus on patient-directed care and recognizing the role of the family caregiver. We have a long way to go, and I have hope and trust in each of you as nurses starting in your career that you have a great opportunity to be at the forefront of this change and lead the way to better collaborate with patients and their family caregivers. Key messages from patients and their family caregivers across Ontario are, number one, treat me and my family members' situation with a sense of urgency that you would if it were your own family. Number two, include me and my caregiver as the equal member of the team. And number three, sometimes hope is all we have. Please support me in having hope. And number four, understand and respect the impact that you as a nurse have on me. I may be one of many patients you have today, but this is my life. You all will enter into a workplace with an established and sometimes deep-rooted culture. And my hope is that your inexperience and your values will lead you to do what is right for patients and families. I encourage you to break rules, embrace, accept, and sometimes lead change. In my experience, I have learned that empathy is the most important virtue. And in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And finally, there is not one accomplishment that I can think of where a team was not involved. Always reflect and think, how am I contributing to this team? What can I do better? Turn to others for support, move forward, and try not to be hard on yourself. Continue to grow, learn, and always take the time to celebrate and recognize the contribution of others. Thank you for letting me share this great day of celebration with you. Your learning has just begun. Be kind, empathetic, and take the time to care for yourself. Each of you inspire me, and I'm certain you will all create a meaningful and positive impact throughout your career. And the choice is yours. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best in the future, and as always, have a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Flaherty. I think her words should resonate very soundly with all of you, and I think what she has to offer is enormous. She talked about McMaster's ranking. Well, I would point out that the only reason we're ranked that way is by virtue of the quality of our alumni. And I think Dr. Flaherty is one of the best examples of a graduate in nursing who has been able to not only do professionally enormous things, but has contributed to the society around her in a magnificent way. And we were absolutely delighted to be able to honor her today with the Doctorate of Science and to be able to tie her a little closer to the McMaster family. Thank you, Dr. Flaherty.
Dr. Dean will now come forward to present the graduands to our Chancellor for admission to their degrees.
Will the graduands please stand? Madam Chancellor, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates and those in absentia in order that you may confer the appropriate degrees upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable.
Graduands, by my authority and that of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to admit those before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees at McMaster University with all of the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all. Please be seated.
Graduates, I will now ask each of you to join me on stage so that the Chancellor and I may welcome you to the McMaster community of scholars.
Ladies and gentlemen, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of the graduands, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduate of the degree Doctorate of Nursing, of Philosophy. Amy Lynn Wright. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Science. Kwame Bonzai. Kendra Justine Bookma. Manit Shahal. Qianzhao Li. Sunhee McDermott. Michelle Sharini. Carly Marie Zabo. Samantha Ann Walker.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Carolyn Adams. Grace Patricia Adams. Justina Adu Arthur. Salima Afshin. Stephanie Aguilar. Mansour Alamazan. Atelamolia Alaga. Adiyima Hakim Alaga. Aliyah Alalabi. Amna Ali. Jesse Michael Alkima. Jose Almero. Victoria Marie Ambrose. Suraya Amiri. Kristen Michelle Anderson. Tatiana Angelovsky. Dara Ansimova. Victoria Jane Arca. Brianna Armstrong. Cindy Ashurst. J.C. Ashunyan. Mary Atala. Summer Melin Aubert. Shannon Marie Babcock. Mom Essie Kwasima Bafo. Elizabeth Laura Baldwin. Tia Anna Ball. Mark Barone. Monica Batinik. Shiza Batul. Aaron Bowman. Tilly Bavi. Caitlin Sarah Bolin. Rachel Beaver. Tara Lynn Beckett. Elizabeth Ruth Baizul. Amy Kathleen Bell. Rachel Benalasazar Schudeman. Alora Bennett. Emily Benoit. Janet Lindsay Bentley. Sadie Jean Berard. Alexandra Berescu. Celine Bertram. Ferdos Buya. Isabel Buyan. Jordan Bilone. Elani Jeanette Binkley. Rebecca Binns. Philip Joseph Biondi. Nora Bischoff. Catherine Black. Laura Ann Blacklock. Mitchell Barry Blackwell. Alexandra Blom. Jessica Suzanne Bohr. Allison Louise Bone. Olivia Catherine Bonomo. Mike Bostica. Bianca Ferretto Botas. Jenny Boone Manon. Andrea Bowman. Hannah Lauren Boyko. Alyssa Ann Bradshaw. Monica Johanna Maben Breckelmans. Emily Veronica Brent. Caitlin Sarah Bridle. Dominique Joyce Brigantino. Caitlin Mary Brooks. Megan Marie Brunsfeld. Emily June Buschenauer. Natasha Stephanie Butz. Lauren Bushland. Jessica Marie Bies. Emily Callaghan. Lauren Cameron. Julia Camilleri. Caitlin Alicia Campbell. Sarah Marie Campbell. Paige Alana Capra. Miranda Rose Cardinale. Bailey Jennifer Carmichael. Victoria Chambers. Laura Chapman. Madeline Sean Chisholm. Tara Chisholm. Cho Sapom. Devin Church. Deanna Clapworthy. Reagan Kober. Dominique Coles. Courtney Coverdale. Kayla Cowan. Caitlin Ann Coward. Megan Elizabeth Crombie. Leanne Cronk. Huan Siwi. Sierra Dorora. Stephanie Dada. Tess Danforth. Lily Kim Chi Dang. Marley Dara. Francine David. Rebecca DeGroot. Ruth Ann DeMello. Brandon Alwyn Dessa. Brianna Robin Marie Dean. Jessica Aslyn DeBakir. Lauren Decker. Amanda Del Rosso. Shelley Grace Delaney. Caitlin Dennis. Jessica Elizabeth Denstead. Rubina Dial. Emily Ann McCready Detrani. Ella Diaz. Ellen Marie Deinhardt. Marcia Danielle DiStefan. Naomi Sheila Doe. Brianna Dorr. Carly Marie Rosanna Domenicini. Nicholas Hamilton Drake. Carly Kathleen Draga. Courtney Duzman. Ariane Caitlin Dyack. Anna Christina Dyson. Angelica Ziedzik. Timothy Peter Edgerton. Nardine Ecladios. This is E.
Rabia Elcock Garvey. Anna Elliott. Sarah Beverly Ellis. Esther Ursol. Delaney Evans. Rebecca Everett. Victoria Everett. Marcia Facey. Leah Gail Fangrad. Simon Edward Farquharson. Jessica Farrow. Miranda Lynn Faulkner. Bernice Eslin Ferguson. Madeline Ferreira. Michael Fickle. Carly Fisher. Sophia Kendall Dahlia Florisa. Jessica Lynn Foisey. Emily Fox. Michelle Frias. Brittany Tamara Friesen. Monique Gallagher. Rachel Elizabeth Gascon. Jovana Gazabarich. Raquel G. Maureen G. Sherwa Giel. Carly Gekier. Carrie Lee Gillies. Bethany Victoria Gradwell. Alexa Graham. Rochelle Graham. Julia Vanessa Grandoni. Bethany Lauren Greathead. Tani Rose Gia. Joan Gulka. Nadine Blair Helsley. Carrie Lynn Jane Hager. Bethlehem Haley. Isaac Haley. Larissa Margaret Hale. Stacy Hallahan. Amy Hamilton. Aaron Hamilton. Kimberly Ruth Hamilton. Taylor Hannah. Taylor Ashley Hansen. Trina Nellianne Harani. Leanna Harper. Emma Harper. Kayla Harrington. Kimberly Harrison. Christy Haslip. Megan Lind Haviland. Kyla Hawker. Chintami Henderlin. Nicholas Hoiser. Chase Hewitt. Jessica Hill Porter. Paulo Hippolito. Nadine Hermes. Lily Huang. Courtney Hoffman. Kyle Diane Hogan. Samantha Francis Holmes. Lo Tzu Hu. Emma Huddle. Charlotte Ann Hutchinson. Lindsay Hutter. Christina Iancu. Sarah Ibrahim. Aehi Epitoki. Mylene Angela M. Casey Ingold. Priscilla Sin-Ying Ip. Jessica Marilyn Irvin. Catherine Lynn Irvin. Megan Izio. Maya Jacko. Laura Jacobson. Ashley Jang. Kalina Janik. Julia Yaroslavsky. Scarlett Harkeen. Natalie Jarin. Sunura Raveen Yayatungi. Bailey Jensen. Priya Jayarajan. Rekavi Jayasriharan. Amanpreet Johal. Holly Amanda Johnson. Dylan Jones. Brandon M. Jordan. Madison Jean Jovanovich. Yorga Marie Joven. Gerline Janea. David Peter Kang. Andrea Katona. Mandeep Kaur. Leah Yoko Kelly. Danielle Kent. Bogdan Karavaki. Sorry. Sorry. Emily Kerr. Daniel Kim. Elena Klassen. Ciara Koch. Alexandra Korab-Laskowski. Krista Elise Kotwa. Magda Kowalchuk. Laura Kovaleski. Justine Kramer. Kira Margaret Kruger. Nicole Kaczewski. Maylin Haitin Kuo. Laura Jean Jessica Cuse.
Brittany Labont. Dana May Lajaw. Megan Lansborough. Betty Lane. Matthew Larangero. Allison Lowe, Vanessa Lawther, Cecilia Lay, Catherine Lay, Rebecca Ann Leader, Ga Young Lee, Suk Jun Lee, Christina Lagare, Jin Liu, Sally Lin, Erin Nadine Little, Alexander Zhubinikovic, Lisa Lowe, Madison Loader, Danielle Elizabeth Luciani, Leanne Lumsden, Carmen Lai, April Lee, Emma Kathleen Machen, Caitlin McKinnon, Tessa Marie McClellan, Una Malik, Adrian Ruth Jean Malager, Judith Manilow, Monica Enrique Manapul, Elijah Marcella, Shelby Eden Margolou, Brody Marks, Mary Grace Morocco, Chantal Anna Elisa Mars, Kiwi Martel Bryden, Brady Martin, Jennifer Ann Martin, Lauren Martinolovich, Christopher Francesco Mastronardi, Alicia Matos, Elisa Grace Mauby, Shannon McAlpine, Linda McCready, Tiffany McDonald, Haley McFadden, Sarah Darlene McGean, Caitlin Elizabeth McGrath, Danica McIntosh. Jasmine Yvette McIntyre. Kirsten McConey. Owen Menard. Katrina Lynn Mendoza. Sydney Jessica Lee Marison. Jasmine Missouri. Tiffany Amber Met. Jamie Lynn Miniker. Christina Minnie Cucci. Yelena Mikovic. Shamina Sultana Mola. Tamara Monahan. Caroline Nicole Matani. Maverick J. Mooney. Michaela Kathleen Morabito. Terry Lynn Rosalie Musu. Donald Mudakar. Courtney Mugford. Lauren Murdoch. Caroline Michelle Muska. Masood Nawa. Michaela Ann Nevelizer. Patrick Christian Bernal Ing. Lynn Noon. Kenny Peter Wieng. Aiden Nitz. Chloe Norris. Sharon Wamadi. Dapo James Olentund. Serena Ong. Shelley Oren. Teresa Josephine Orsini. Godson Osivo. Abdiazi Mohammed Osman. Shema Omar. Mariam Ibukun Oyewumi. Anna Pekin. Courtney Ann Heidi Pecos. Emilia Pang. Annie Panyen. Caitlin Parker. Jennifer Christine Peacock. Lexi Rocha Pereira. Nicole Faye Perks. Andrea Joy Filippi. Madison Presley Phillips. Danielle Karen Piano. Brooke Picard. Alana Piershinowski. Felicia Perez. Janelle Taylor Pitaro. Megan Popiel. Lauren Pompey. Erin Gwendolyn Potter. Christina Barbara Price. Katie Celeste Pruden. Susan Aiden Razia Ramati. Felicia Kunti Remabaran. Iwana Remick. Zara Raza. Laura Marie Renton. Emma Kaylee Richardson. Emily Grace Richmond. Amanda Jean Rideout. Amanda Lynn Rilette. Jennifer Nicole Robinson. Kylie Jessica Rogers. Riley Roseboom. Emily Sheehan Rowe.
Javad Safari. Nikia Danielle Sandy. Kirsten May Sarmiento. Fabian Satan. Jennifer Lauren Sauve. Jocelyn Schnur. Alexandria Shibetta. Ashley Shicharan. Emily C. Hagel. Jasmine Lee Seibel. Amanda Seitz. Kayla Shands. Haley Dawn Sharp. Haley Marissa Victoria Sharp. Nicolette Ann Sheridan. Rebecca Kelsey Shorak. Ashley Ann Sibley. Emily Jane Sibley. Amy Simpson. Haley Simpson. Katrina Sims. Laura Sinden. Rama Cindy. Danielle Joy Slappendale. Jennifer Slyfield. Caitlin Smith. Kate Faulkner Smith. Claudia Sniatala. Megan Snyder. Jisoo Shon. Nicole Marie Sulk. Megan Spearin. Vigneswari Sridharan. Olivia Stapley. Kaylin Stephen. Serena Alicia Stewart. Malin Stubbe. Aaron Sum. Jennifer Sutherland. Patricia Marta Shemedzinska. Shu Lin Tang. Jessica Tat. Julia Edith Taylor. Sydney Jane Taylor. Emily Elizabeth Teixeira. Jody Terpstra. Abina Thivanayagam. Emily Ann Grace Thomas. Emma Marone Thompson. Brittany Thornhill. Laura Ann Tombolini. Samantha Marie Toner. Megan Tracy Flaherty. Cassandra Tofimowicz. Bethany Troughton. Juvance Chiyoyo Bukumba. Adriana Tugg. Jess Turner. Lauren Joan Turpin. Priyanka Uttarathanam. Allison Van Bakel. Anne-Marie Shanna Van Halteren. Megan Joanna Van Heeswick. Alyssa Van Sickle. Haley Grace Van Sickle. Sarah Jean Ann Vance. Caitlin Vanderhayden. Vanessa Van Cleef. Kelly Elizabeth Veach. Bruce Nicholas Vermeulen. Brianna Diana Virag. Allison Emily Wallace. Cheyenne Wallace. Courtney Walsh. Sean Yu Wang. Samantha Therese Warren. Sierra Nicole Weiss Helston. Laura Nicole Wichelo. Emily Ann White. Lily White Mitchell. Zoe Alexandra Wixon. Nicole Rose Wildish. Evelyn Joyce Williams. Megan Laura Williams. Brooke Wilson. Jessica Whisker. Rebecca Whitowitz. Kareem Alonzo White. Heather Hyun Yo. Nikki Human. Stephanie Yee. Jamie Yin. Young Yoon. Katie Young. Sarah Christine Zabzewski. Micah Lois Sagala. James Anthony Zarlenga. Leah Zirin. Xuantong Chu.
I would now like to introduce Ms. Micah Zagal, a graduate of the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing, who will be delivering the valedictory address.
Good afternoon, Chancellor Labarge, President Dean, Provost Farrar, esteemed faculty, beloved family members, and of course, my fellow 2019 nursing graduates. Hi, my name is Micah. I'm a level 4 nursing student at McMaster University, and I will be taking care of you today. How many times did we introduce ourselves in this way throughout the past 4 years as students? Today, you can officially say that you are no longer nursing students, but nursing graduates, playing a central part in the well-being of our community. At some point during this program, we've heard of the nursing profession described as this incredible art form: the art of caring, the art of healing, the art of nurturing. Expressions like these initially sound cliche, but in many ways have resonated truthfully in my own experiences as a part of the nursing program here at the McMaster Collaborative. Number one, nursing is an art in that it involves having our skills on display. The skills that demonstrate our attention to detail, flexibility, and not to mention testing our abilities to function with as little sleep as possible. This, of course, includes the countless hours and late nights reading over the 350 pages of PBL readings that we left to the last minute, the unavoidable early morning 7 a.m. clinical shifts, and the eventual insomnia that ensued as we would continue these hours through the days, nights, and weekends. We also demonstrated our skills through constant small and large group discussion, simulation labs, and of course, choosing the most correct multiple choice answer on every PBL exam, despite being able to effectively, in many of our minds, argue for all of them. Our nursing skills were also literally on display back in first year when we thought we looked so nice and professional in our scrubs and stethoscopes, resulting in a flood of social media selfies and captions worthy of Instagram. Hashtag, it's a beautiful day to save lives. Number two, nursing is an art in that it seeks and reveals truth. Reflection, reflection, reflection. As you may know, we are no strangers to honest and truthful analysis. Through all of those reflections, we were encouraged to write during our clinical practice. Nursing also seeks and reveals truth, so long as it takes the form of Tanner's model of clinical judgment. Don't forget to notice, interpret, respond, and what do you know? Reflect. Although the practice of reflection felt repetitive at times, this undoubtedly allowed us to deepen our skills in honest self-assessment, which a lot of the time was fairly humbling. Number three, nursing is an art in that it is a source of calm and therapy in a crazy world. Walking into the McMaster campus during Welcome Week 4 years ago, I distinctly remember being surrounded by a sea of yellow shirts full of incoming nursing students like myself. I understand now how this luminous yellow embodies our work and the sense of light that we bring to the world. Light in the dark. This also lived out most literally when leaving your house to go to clinical in the dark, then later on leaving the hospital, also in the dark. Number four, nursing is an art in that it involves honest expression and communication. As we continued through the program, we began to realize that nursing is so much more than just a degree or a job that simply pays the bills. It is a calling to be advocates for those who cannot speak for themselves and to ensure that the voices of our patients are heard in service to their health and well-being. Finally, number five, nursing is an art in that it allows us to connect with humanity. We are called to serve individuals from diverse backgrounds with a number of different needs and who often find themselves in their most vulnerable state. Be it the 30-week-old premature baby in the NICU, the 72-year-old man with Alzheimer's who no longer remembers the face of his wife or the name of his daughter, or the vulnerable teenager wrestling with the stigma of mental illness. Graduates, do not forget that we play a vital role in humanizing healthcare. We treat beyond the illness, we build relationships with our patients, and provide holistic, compassionate, non-judgmental, person-centered care in all that we do, maintaining the respect and dignity that every patient deserves. I've also seen so many of you demonstrate this same authenticity, not only in your placements, but in your lives as students and as people. Perhaps you had that one person in your class who you did not know very well, yet they were more than happy to provide all the class notes for you if you needed them. Or your group of friends who are willing to get together to provide encouragement and emotional support when crowded with so many different clinical shifts, difficult patient loads, and what seemed like a mountain of papers and assignments. You truly have been a community of real, raw, and caring individuals who have been a source of great strength for one another. And as a result, we have formed this special bond that we will continue to hold on to for years to come. Florence Nightingale once said, "Nursing is an art, and if it is to be made an art, it requires an exclusive devotion, as hard a preparation as any painter's or sculptor's work." This is certainly true. I'm sure that Florence can attest to the fact that the clay of our practice can be tough and gritty, with the art sometimes messy. Our program was challenging in many ways, and we will soon face these similar challenges in the real world. You will make mistakes and experience failures. However, the practice of nursing is not simply a masterpiece in what it produces, but in the gumption behind it. Our heart, our guts, our spirit, all these things that propel us to learn and become better. As we close this chapter and move forward, let us take with us the lessons we have learned to guide us in our future endeavors, both as nurses and as people. Although we will be taking different paths in life, we will always be connected by our experiences and the memories we've made together. Once again, here we are. We made it to Convocation. We have endured what seems like a marathon of work, well worth going the distance, crossing the finish to breathe out a great, satisfactory exhale of accomplishment, which you can do right now if you haven't already done so. You deserve it. Congratulations, McMaster Nursing Class of 2019.
Thank you, Micah. May I now introduce Dennis Souter, a graduate of the Bachelor of Arts class of 1970 and a representative of the McMaster Alumni Association. Dennis will now deliver the Alumni Association address.
Chancellor Labarge, President Dean, award winners, honorees, Mohawk, Conestoga, and McMaster faculty, fellow alumni, guests, and especially members of the class, the McMaster class of 2019. If Convocation could talk, it might tell you your life is changing, so come take part in this ancient ritual while your parents take pictures of you wearing a borrowed gown. Crossing this stage marks one of the most significant changes in your life. You're moving from your career as a student to a career as a professional, or from being an undergraduate to being a graduate student. Or maybe you're going to trade the goals and routines of university for something more freeform and personal. We all experience the graduation tradition and transition in our own way. No doubt, many more transitions are ahead of you as you move through the stages of your life. What won't change is that your experience earning your degree will always be a part of you, and you will always be part of this community. At times, that connection will feel strong. Other times, you will take a back seat gracefully to other priorities in your life. But when you do want to turn to that lifelong relationship into an activity, a social media connection, volunteering, or any one of a dozen other kinds of opportunity, your Alumni Association will be there for you. That's what we do. You can read about your alma mater, your fellow alumni and classmates in MAC, the news magazine for alumni, either in print or, more likely for you, digitally, or through our monthly e-newsletter, Maroon Mail. Check out the alumni site on media and read about fellow grads' real lives after MAC. Learn from the career newsletter, Insights, and join the MAC alumni communities on Facebook LinkedIn, and Twitter. You are now a member of MAC 10 with programming specifically geared to the needs of graduates within the first 10 years after graduation. Whether you're looking for assistance getting that first job, or as you navigate the next steps in your career, the MAC Alumni Association has a number of resources, events, and programs to help, as well as an alumni career counselor. And we'll offer some fun social events as well. MAC Alumni offers probably things you didn't realize, like great deals on home and auto insurance or health and dental coverage plans. And if you think moving away from Hamilton is going to cut your connection to McMaster, not going to happen. If you do your part by keeping your contact information up to date on your alumni profile via the alumni website, you'll receive invitations and notices about the events taking place near where you live. We can't get everywhere, but you may be surprised to see where McMaster events pop up. And with online networking events, mentoring, and webinars, you can always make a MAC connection. When you leave here today, I know it's likely that nothing I have said will stick with you. And that's fine. I won't take it personally. As a longtime volunteer, I have a couple of tips for you. I'd encourage you to wear your MAC pride and always share where you went to school. You'll make some great connections with fellow Marauders out there, and the rest of the folks will just be impressed with your credentials. Do take a minute to check out the alumni website, read the emails, follow the posts, and learn about what your new status as alumni could offer you. And whatever that day comes when you're curious and ready to connect, we'll be there. Marauders helping Marauders. Your Alumni Association, after the spring ceremonies, will be over 200,000 strong. Members of the class of 2019, congratulations on your convocation and welcome to the McMaster Alumni Association. We are very proud indeed to have you join the MAC Alumni family. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. I now invite Dr. Dean back to the podium to deliver his President's Address.
Madam Chancellor, Dr. Flaherty, distinguished colleagues, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to pick up on some of the themes you've already heard discussed from the stage today. Like many of the rituals by which we order our lives, convocation is a combination of the private and the public. Today we're celebrating your individual achievements as well as our collective renewal through those achievements and through the futures that you will all go on to make and to build. Convocation is also, in a sense, a form of therapy, in that it is intended to give acknowledgement, focus, and expression to our awareness of change, of the life transitions which all of you are experiencing right now, and of the broader shifts in our society and culture which implicate us all. One phase of life is ending for you, and another is beginning, perhaps still within McMaster if you're planning further study, or, as is likely the case for most of you, beyond our university. Now, while I said convocation helps to give focus to our awareness of change, that is not to say that it necessarily simplifies moments like this. After all, while the end of one phase can be a relief, and I'm sure it is in many cases for you here today, it can also occasion a sense of loss or even grief. And while we may approach our next phase, or the beginning of our next phase, with excitement, that will also likely come with an admixture of nervousness and some fear, perhaps. So the combination of emotions on a day like this will be different for every one of us. Now, I'm an English professor going through changes of my own. As you may know, I leave McMaster University at the end of this convocation season. So perhaps you will indulge me in a brief poetic moment. I want to read you some lines from T.S. Eliot's poem, Little Gidding, the last of his 4 quartets published in 1942. It is a riff, although Eliot would almost certainly not have called it that, on the saying which Mary Queen of Scots embroidered on her cloth of estate while she was imprisoned in England prior to her execution. En ma fin gît mon commencement. In my end is my beginning. Nearly 400 years later, also in London, England, and with the massive destruction of successive German bombing raids all around him, T.S. Eliot amplified Queen Mary's motto in this way, and these are the lines I want to read you. What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. These, I think, are helpful words on an occasion like this. While it is tempting at times of change to mourn the loss of something that is coming to an end, it is important, as other speakers from the stage have said today, to keep your focus on the future, however unknown or unknowable that may be. For Mary, Queen of Scots, imprisoned under threat of execution, the future was imagined as a Christian afterlife. For T.S. Eliot, thinking about Nicholas Farrar's 17th century religious community in the context of wartime Britain, it was that and more, a social and cultural resurgence animated by belief and unified by transcendent values. To make an end is to make a beginning. That is our theme for today, for this convocation, and we should all embrace it, however differently we see ourselves starting out, and however contrasting are our hopes and ambitions for the future. Acceptance of change, along with the constant process of renewal it implies, is fundamental to success, whether for individuals like you and me, or for institutions like McMaster, in which we jointly find a place. Change drives us forward to challenge ourselves and to scale even greater heights. Now, it's not as if we have much choice in the matter. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus is reputed to have observed that change is the only constant in life. But we do have a choice about how we respond to that change, whether we will treat ends as beginnings or merely as ends. And no less a thinker than Confucius has pointed out the link between an acceptance of change and personal growth. He is reputed to have said, paradoxically, and this is the quote, that they must often change who would be constant in happiness or wisdom. That last point is an important one for all of us as a university family. Despite the fact that universities have been around for over 900 years and are seen as one of the most stable human institutions in the West, they have not been immune to change. Indeed, all the teaching, learning, research, and discovery that happens in a place like McMaster is premised on the restless pursuit of truth. To be successful, the university must always be changing, developing, and creating new beginnings of one kind or another. In the 9 years I've been at McMaster, I have been witness to constant and far-reaching change. The most obvious examples have involved alterations to the physical fabric of the place, the demolition of Wentworth House, the construction of L.R. Wilson Hall, the expansion of studio art and engineering experiential education facilities, groundbreaking for the Peter George Center for Living and Learning, opening of the David Braley Health Sciences Center downtown, the construction of the outdoor Indigenous meeting circle, to name only a few. And since I mention the Hatch Center for Experiential Engineering Education, that points to a major shift in pedagogy that has occurred during the last decade, as students have moved towards experiential, technology-enabled, self-directed and community-engaged ways of learning. And the university has transitioned overall into a more vital engagement with its local and global communities in recognition of our mission to advance human and societal health and well-being. So substantive has been that shift that, as you heard from Dr. Flaherty, the university was recently ranked second in the world for our contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and the impact on society that has brought. Listing off these changes gives me pause to reflect on the speed with which time passes. I wonder whether you feel, as I do, as if it was only yesterday that you arrived at McMaster. But think about this. What we are celebrating today is, for most of you, the successful completion of a project to which you have devoted approximately 20% of your lives so far. The 9 years I have spent here account for the same percentage of my adult life. It has been time very well spent, I hope you will agree, but it has been spent nevertheless. And the task today is to ponder the time ahead of you and to consider the thoughtful and the joyful ways in which you might use it, making use, I hope, of all the skills and experience you've worked so hard to acquire during your time at McMaster. It is interesting that we talk about our relation to time using the same language that we use for commerce. We spend time. Sometimes we invest it, and sometimes the investment pays off. There is a witty rejoinder to this in one of the very first self-help books ever written. It's a book called How to Live on 24 Hours a Day by the English author Arnold Bennett, published in 1910. It includes a variety of advice for living life to the full. And in the book, Bennett notes that time is indeed a commodity, but a commodity of a very special sort. The supply of time, he says, is truly a daily miracle. You wake up in the morning, and lo, your purse is magically filled with 24 hours of the unmanufactured tissue of the universe of your life. It is unstealable, and no one receives either more or less than you receive on a daily basis. Perhaps the best thing about time, he notes further, is that you don't have access to credit. You cannot draw on the future. From the point of view of time, it is impossible to get into debt. You can only waste the passing moment. You cannot waste tomorrow. It is kept for you. Tomorrow is kept for all of you. My hope is that you can all make a success of tomorrow and of the new beginning and the new life that you're about to embark on. While this ceremony represents an ending for you and also for me, at least the series of ceremonies this spring, it is also an ending for our esteemed Chancellor, Dr. Suzanne Labarge. Dr. Labarge has served McMaster with great distinction for the last 6 years as our 18th Chancellor and has presided at all of our convocation ceremonies during that time, as well as acting as our most prominent university volunteer. These spring convocations are the last ceremonies that Chancellor Labarge will preside at, and I didn't want to end without recognizing her service and extending our thanks for all that she has done. So there are many of us saying goodbye. Valediction is always difficult, but as Winnie the Pooh is believed to have said, how lucky we are to be leaving something that makes the goodbye hard. My very best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Dean, and congratulations to the class of 2019. As a fellow alumni, I'm very much looking forward where you're going from here. Now, it's always difficult, as you can imagine, with a speech like that to follow President Dean, and I'm not even going to really try. But I will make just one comment that struck me as I listened to various people today. Today, I granted you a Bachelor of Science. I didn't grant you an arts degree. And yet, the conversation was about the art of nursing. It was about, as Dr. Flaherty talked about, the humanity around it, the people side of it. And frankly, it makes me proud, even prouder, of being a fellow alumna. That you can use a scientific basis and know that you are grounded in the science and build the humanity upon that gives so much hope for the future. And so, as President Dean says, as you go forward, I think you go with enormous tools and resources. And all I can say is, I wish you all extremely well. But I'd also like to make a comment, since, as President Dean said, it's his last set of convocations as well as mine, is I've had the benefit of working with him for 6 years on this. And the one thing I could say about President Dean is he is absolutely committed to the student body and its well-being. And I think it's reflected in what he's done over the years here. And I think for that, again, as a fellow alumni and as a colleague, and I hope all of you, I would like to recognize that. However, before I let you now go, I do have a couple of comments to make. I have to ask you to remain standing at your seats until the academic procession and the graduates have left the hall. And finally, please join now in the singing of our national anthem. After the singing of the anthem, this convocation stands adjourned.
With glowing hearts we